Hello, children. Your exams are fast approaching, and to help you with the same, we have got NCERT solutions for Light Class 8th. So today we will be doing NCERT solutions for Light Class 8. The first question that is there in NCERT is a very good one. Suppose you are in a dark room. Can you see objects in the room? Can you see objects outside the room? Explain. So, because inside it is dark, right? It is possible that we don't get to see things. But outside, if there is light, we will be able to see things that are outside the room. So, we will write it as we see only the objects from which reflected light ray enters into. So we see only the objects from which reflected light rays enter into our eye, or it should be able to produce its own light. Okay. In the dark room, we do not see objects. We can see objects. We can see objects outside the room. And that too if the light is on there as well. Second question. Differentiate between regular and diffused reflection. Does diffused reflection mean the failure of laws of reflection? First, no, diffused reflection does not mean that the laws of reflection has been defied by light. Let's first compare the regular reflection and diffused reflection. So you can make a table like this, regular reflection. And here we can write diffused reflection. You can also make a figure if you want to. And depending on the marks that the question is for. First, it takes place on a smooth and shiny surface. Here it takes place on rough surface. Second, okay, here all the reflected rays are parallel. All rays are parallel. All rays are parallel after reflection. After reflection. Here, all rays are not parallel. Reflected rays are in different directions. Then it has also asked, does diffused reflection mean the failure of law of reflection? So you can mention this. No diffused reflection is not due to the failure of the laws of reflection. It is caused by the irregularities in the reflecting surface. So it is not because of light, but the irregularities in the reflecting surface. अगर आप normal बनाएंगे at the point of incidence, you will see that the rule is obeyed. You can make the diagram for regular and diffuse reflection in case the question is for more marks. Okay. Question 3. Question 3 says, mention against each of the following whether regular or diffuse reflection will take place when a beam of light strikes. Justify your answer in each case. Okay. So let's do this as well. So polished wooden table. Now this will have a regular reflection. Let's write it here. Regular reflection. Now why regular? Because it's polished, right? Regular reflection. Now chalk powder. Chalk powder will have diffuse reflection because it is not that even, right? So it is diffused reflection. A cardboard is also not a very smooth surface. So here also irregular or diffused reflection. Right? Now, marble floor with water spread over it. Marble floor with water spread over it will have regular reflection because it is a polished, shiny surface. So you can write regular reflection. This is a very simple question, but a little of understanding is required. Like mirror will definitely have a regular reflection. Mirror is taken as example, ideal example for regular reflection, right? Pieces of paper. Pieces of paper is irregular reflection. Irregular reflection. Now, children, for whichever question you have written as irregular reflection, you can always give rough surface as the reason. Rough surface is the reason for or irregular reflections. Rough surface. It is not that smooth surface, it is a rough surface. So such an reason can be given because it has asked you to justify. Usually children forget to do that. They forget to justify even when it is asked. Polished wooden table is polished smooth surface. Polished smooth surface. Smooth surface or polished surface. Smooth surface or polished surface. Okay. Here, polished surface, it is one of the best ones, so you can always write it confidently. Now the fourth question. State the laws of reflection. State the laws of reflection. See, some of the textbook follow, the sequence of laws has been written differently in few textbooks, but the laws remain the same. So there are two laws of reflection. One, angle of incidence. Angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection. Angle I is equal to angle R, right? I think we all remember this by now. We have read this in 6th, 7th, and 8th as well. The incident ray, the normal, and the reflected ray, all lie on the same plane. All lie on the same plane. This is the fourth question. Now the fifth question. And see, you can always draw the classic figure of angle of I is equal to angle of R. The figure that is drawn like this, you can show a mirror. You can show the incident ray, which is supposed to be straight. Yeah, sorry. And then you can show the reflected ray as well and make the angles equal. You can show this figure by drawing carefully with the help of a scale and pencil. Now, children, in exam, do not use a pen to draw the figure because that is considered to be a not very healthy habit to do and your marks may get deducted. So describe an activity to show that incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal at the point of incidence lie in the same plane, So how would you show that? Okay. So step 1, take a plane mirror. Take a plane mirror and stand it on a plain sheet of paper. Plain sheet of paper with the help of a block. You can take support of a block and you can always set a mirror on a plain sheet. Now, secondly, draw an incident line AB and see in the mirror and mark the points on the paper, right? So wherever you see that the light is being reflected, you can mark it on the paper. So the second point is draw an incident line, incidence line AB. Now see in the mirror and mark the points on the paper. Where you see, you find, where you find the line is traveling. Now remove the mirror. You have seen in the mirror and you have drawn the point. Now remove the mirror. Remove the mirror and draw a perpendicular. Draw a perpendicular on the mirror line. On the mirror line. Fourth, join the point. Join the points to make the reflected ray. Join the points to make the reflected ray and normal. Reflected ray and normal be. So what will happen is you will join the points to make the reflected ray. You will see that they are all on the same plane. You will see that the incident ray reflected ray and normal are on the same plane. Are on the same plane. So this is a extensive question usually taken in labs, not asked in theory. But in case they do, you can always say that you're taking a mirror and a paper. Looking into the mirror, you're drawing the lines accordingly on the paper, and then you would see that they are all on the same plane, right? Now let's look at the sixth question, which is a fill in the blanks. A person 1 meter in front of a plane mirror seems to be 2 meters away from his image. Okay. If you touch your dash ear with your right hand in front of a plane mirror, it will be seen in the mirror that your right ear is touched with. So it is lateral inversion. So you will say left and left hand. Because you're touching your left ear, so it will look like right ear. And you're doing it with right hand, so it will look as though you're doing it with left hand, right? See, the size of the pupil becomes dash when you see in dim light. It has to enlarge, right? So large becomes large when you see in dim light. Last question of this part. Night birds have dash cones than rods in their eyes. Have lesser cones because it is more to do with dullness or dimness of light and not with color. Okay. So lesser cones than rods in their eyes. Now the seventh question, which is an MCQ. The line of incidence is equal to the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. This is always. Hamesha hi angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Always remember, light apne rule nahi todta hai. Okay? Be it spherical mirror, plane mirror, the rule will be there, present. Image formed by a plane mirror is. So we all know the properties of, or the properties of an image formed on a plane mirror. It will be virtual, behind the mirror, and of the same size of the object. This is the right answer. Virtual, behind the mirror, and of the same size of the object. Right? It's a plane mirror, so the size of the object will remain the same. Now there is another lengthy question. So usually given in for more marks. Describe the construction of kaleidoscope. This is how it will look like. And many of you must have made it during your summer holidays or such free time. So it starts by using the three pieces of mirror perspex. When I say mirror perspex, it means it is rectangular pieces of mirror and roll them in a shape of a triangle. So you'll have to arrange them in the shape of a triangle like this, right? It's an equilateral triangle that will be formed, and you will tape it carefully so that none of it is loose, right? This is the form you need to give. Sketch a small triangle at the kaleidoscope's edge to the overhead transparency paper. So you're going to put a transparent paper at the edge of the kaleidoscope, and you'll cut the corners so that it is easy for us to establish it. You have to attach the paper to a separate place. Now you will attach it, and then you will put a transparent paper, and you will be drawing another triangle which is 2 centimeter larger than the previous one. Now you will put a plastic, select the color of the plastic that you would like to place inside the kaleidoscope, and take off the small paper cuttings. Now paper cuttings can be also replaced by glass pieces, broken bangles and such pieces. And you should be able to use that to get all the kind of images that you want. So now, bacho, dekho, you have a triangle like this. You can enclose it with a cardboard. You can enclose it in a cardboard like this. You will put a transparent paper. You will put pieces of broken uh, bangles or such pieces on it, paper as well, and then you will close it up. You will close it up with another glass on both the sides, right? Like this. See, you'll make a small hole to look into it. And then this is a glass, a ground glass, and there is small pieces. Between the paper and the glass, there are small pieces of colored glass. When you rotate it, you will be able to see many images of different types. This kaleidoscope is used by artists to, make wallpaper, to get the fabric design. So such people use these kind of kaleidoscopes. 10. 10 is a question to draw and label the sketch of a human eye. So it's this is a little funny, something like I would have made with hand, but then you can always make a freehand sketch. The outer cover is cornea, right? Then it is there is iris. Iris controls the pupil. Pupil is controlled by iris. Iris gives the color to the eye, and the pupil is the inner opening of the eye where the light goes through. And after going through pupil, it will hit the lens. From the lens, it will go and fall on the retina. Retina has optic nerves, and optic nerves will take the signal to the eyes. According to the marks, I think you should write at least 4-5 points about and label the things very carefully. The fluid between the cornea and the pupil is known as aqueous humor. The fluid between the lens and the retina is known as vitreous humor. So all of that needs to be taken into account, and try to draw neatly, right, with the help of a pencil. Now, there is another question which is usually not asked, but then you can always know the answer. It can be asked in a different form. Gurmeet wants to perform activity using a laser torch. Her teacher advised her not to do so. Can you explain the basis of the teacher's advice? Why would a teacher stop you from doing an experiment? So we stop you from doing an experiment because laser light is harmful for eyes. Okay, so please, you have to understand teacher's advice is for your own good. Laser light is harmful for eye, and can cause, so it can cause permanent defect in the eye. Right? Laser lights are harmful. Now, the 12th question is asking you, explain how you can take care of your eye. So, for taking care of your eye, you should not read too little or in too much light. Okay? Do not read in very little lighting. Very little light. मम्मी बोलती हैं आपको कि बेटा लाइट जला लो, ट्यूबलाइट जला के पढ़ो and all that. It is because your eyes should not get strained. And yeah, the mobile game concept is also correct. You should not be playing it for a very long time. Right? Do not rub your eyes with dirty hands. With dirty hands. You should not look at the sun directly. Do not look at the sun directly. Read at a normal distance. Not too close, not too far. Always understand longer screen times also affects your eyes, and you can definitely add that too. So reducing screen time is also necessary. And that does not come specifically just to studies, you know. Screen time is effective even when you're playing games. So you have to restrict that too. What is the angle of incidence of a ray if the reflected ray is at angle of 90 degree to the incident ray? Now, if the, look at this, I would like to draw and explain this. Suppose this is the mirror. The angle of incidence of a ray, this is the incident ray. If the reflected ray is at angle of 90 degree to the incident ray, that means this is the normal, this is the reflected ray. The total angle is 90 degree, right? The total angle is 90 degree. Angle I plus angle R is equal to 90 degree. Angle I plus angle I is equal to 90 degree because both are same. 2 times angle I is equal to 90 degrees. And angle I is equal to 45 degrees. This much proof is not necessary, but good for you to know, right? 14th question. How many images of a candle will be formed if it is placed between two parallel plane mirrors separated by 40 centimeter? Now, 40 centimeter is okay. That means it's not very far off. But the answer would be infinite. Infinite. The number of images formed will be infinite, okay? Infinite number of images will be formed. Infinite number of images will be formed. 15th question. If two mirrors meet at a right angle, a ray of light is incident on one of an angle at 30 degrees. Draw the reflected ray from the second one. See, you have to draw like this. 30 degree incident ray, 30 degree reflected ray. So that means this angle is 60 degree. And if you see this normal and this mirror are parallel lines, and this is acting as a transverse. So this would be 60 degree, this would be 30 degree. If angle of incidence here is 60 degree, then reflected will be 60 degree, and this angle will be 30 degree. So yes, this is a very important question. It comes in Olympiads as well. Not the ray diagram, just the marking of X, Y, and Z. Now this is the 16th question. Bujo stands at A just on the side of the plane mirror as shown in the figure. Can he see himself in the mirror? Also, can he see the image of objects situated at P, Q, and R? So the answer is no, he cannot see his image. He cannot see his own image. He can see only the image of P, but not of Q and R. So let's write that. Bujo cannot see his image and the image of Q and R, because Q and R. Okay. He can only see the image of P. Q may also be visible if the light strikes here and gets reflected towards Bujo, but then it is usually going somewhere else. I'm not sure if it is in the range. The figure is a little complicated, but P definitely would be seen. Q and R is definitely not seen, and he will not be able to see himself in the mirror as well. Okay. Now the same question is extended in the 17th question. Find out the position of image. Find out the position of the image of an object situated at A in the plane mirror. Can Paheli at B see its Can Paheli at B see this image? So your answer is yes, Paheli at B can see its image. The ray diagram that you draw would look something like this. So yes, Paheli, yes, Paheli can see the image. See, yes, Bujo can see the image. And D, no change in image position of A. Can Paheli see the image? No. And can Bujo see the image? Yes. And yes, Paheli can see the image. Bujo can also see his image. But Paheli, but Paheli, if she moves from B to C, then the image of A will not move. The position of A will remain the same. So these are something that you need to extend the lines for and then find out. Even in 16th question, you can extend the incident ray and draw a figure like this to find out the correct positioning. That's all for NCERT solution, children. All the best for your upcoming exam.